begin, if I may, by commending David Levy for his exemplary work as our diplomat here in Montreal. Kol hakavod, David, for all the work you do. You are wonderful parliamentarians, Anthony Housefather and David Birnbaum, and I wouldn't want to let the evening pass without noting the presence here of another old friend and former parliamentarian, Lawrence Bergman. Pleasure to see you here, and I know how you attend the events here with great fidelity. I also want to, at this point, pay particular tribute to CIJR as it marks its 31st anniversary in being in the trenches on a daily basis. And I think the best testimony to the work under the leadership of Fred Kranz and David Kinchler and all others, the best testimony to their work were the three students whom you heard this evening, representing the kind of impact that the CIJR has, and remembering also the legacy of Baruch Cohen as we remember him and as their internships recognize. Let me at this point say that after watching the videos of Hillel Neuer, one of the best of my former students, Rabbi Cooper, Alvin Rosenfeld, I think they already gave you excellent introductions to Manfred Gerstenfeld. So I hope you'll indulge me. I may be able to mention, I hope, some things about Manfred which will illustrate the incredible career of someone who for me has been a long-standing friend and colleague, and for whom it is a real pleasure and privilege for me to be able to present him this evening. He has been an intellectual, policy and strategic pioneer in the struggle against anti-Semitism. The oldest, most enduring, most global, and most toxic of hatreds, and bringing us together here at a time of a resurgence of this global anti-Semitism, a threat not only to Jews, but to our common humanity, the canary in the mineshaft of global evil today, and mandating, indeed commanding, our individual and collective involvement in combating this historic, enduring, and contemporary evil. A brilliant public intellectual, policy and strategic analyst, Manfred is really a Renaissance Jew who brings an incredible repository of expertise and experience as a backdrop to his work in anti-Semitism. A Dutch Jew who was born in Austria, as you mentioned, grew up in Amsterdam, made Aliyah in 1968 from Paris to Israel. Manfred was, and this is not as well known as it deserves to be, was already an international student leader in his 20s. He was the president of the World Union of Jewish Students from 1963 to 1967. He was already then in his 20s a Jewish communal leader. He was then serving on the European board of the World Jewish Congress, a trustee of the Memorial Foundation for Jewish Culture, and a member of the Council of the World Union of Students, and received degrees, and it's incredible when you think of his academic background, received degrees in chemistry, economics, and a PhD in environmental studies, and becoming an expert in environmental protection before it was even fashionable to start thinking about climate change. So this is something about the backdrop of the person who is here, but it doesn't end there. Very quickly, for over 40 years, after making Aliyah, Manfred has been a leading international strategic consultant for governments and major corporations all over the world, during which time he published leading papers. We know about his work in anti-Semitism, which commends him in particular this evening, but he published leading papers in the fields of politics, economics, the environment, religion, history. As I said, a real Renaissance scholar, including groundbreaking articles on the relationship between Judaism and environmental protection. But it is since Manfred's quote-unquote retirement, as it has been called, in the year 2000, that Manfred has made his singular intellectual, policy, and strategic contribution to the defining, understanding, and combating of the old-new anti-Semitism and its various global manifestations, including his authored 11 books alone and hundreds of groundbreaking articles, while serving at the same time since 2000 as president of the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, as editor of the Jewish Political Studies Review, as publisher of the important publication on post-Holocaust on anti-Semitism, and where his incredible contributions have been duly recognized by being the recipient, and I was there in London in 2012 when he received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Journal for the Study of Anti-Semitism for his incredible work in this field, and the recipient of the Simon Wiesenthal Center of its International Leadership Award, as he is receiving this evening the International Lion of Judah Award from CJIR. And may I close by excerpting references from very distinguished academic, intellectual, and political figures commenting on Manfred's work in anti-Semitism. Elie Wiesel, Zichrono Livracha, a blessed memory, who wrote about Manfred Gershenfeld's work on the abuse of Holocaust memory, that it was written with exemplary tenacity and courage. Of the former Prime Minister of Spain and the former Foreign Minister of Italy, who singly and jointly wrote of Manfred Gershenfeld's book on the War of a Million Cuts, the struggle against the delegitimization of Israel and Jews and the growth of the new anti-Semitism, as being a compelling book, an effective antidote to the poison of anti-Semitism and the double standards against Israel. And we're finally Anshel Pfeiffer, writing not from any right-wing publication, but from the left-wing Haaretz newspaper in Israel, summing it all up and saying, Manfred Gershenfeld is without doubt the greatest authority on anti-Semitism today. I present you with great pleasure, Manfred Gershenfeld.